when the guns of World War II finally fell silent in 1945. Europe was a continent in ruins, its cities reduced to rubble, its economies shattered, and its people traumatized by years of unrelenting conflict. Yet amid the destruction, a new confrontation was already taking shape, one that would dominate the second half of the 20th century, the Cold War. The Soviet Union emerged from the war not only victorious, but also more powerful than ever before. It had fielded the largest land army in history, an armored juggernaut that had crushed the Wehrmacht and pushed all the way to Berlin, leaving no doubt about its military capabilities. By contrast, Western Europe, though liberated, was exhausted and weak, its armies depleted and its defenses in tatters. The United States, across the Atlantic, possessed immense industrial and military might, but could not station millions of men permanently in Europe. Into this fragile balance stepped the Soviet Red Army, reorganized and rebuilt with one overwhelming strength: its tanks. Soviet military doctrine emphasized the role of armored forces as the decisive instrument of war, and in the immediate post-war years, Moscow could deploy tens of thousands of tanks across Eastern Europe, a force unmatched in history. NATO, founded in 1949 to deter Soviet aggression, quickly realized the grim truth: if the Soviet Union ever decided to strike west, its mass tank armies could roll across the plains of Europe at terrifying speed, overwhelming defenders before reinforcements could even cross the Atlantic. This fear was not speculative. It was rooted in stark intelligence estimates. American analysts reported that the Soviet Union had inherited not just battle-hardened troops, but also enormous production facilities capable of churning out thousands of armored vehicles each year. Their tanks, such as the T-34, the T-54, and later the T-62, were simple, rugged, and produced in staggering numbers. For every tank NATO stationed in Germany, the Soviets could deploy 3 or 4, and behind the armored divisions stood entire echelons of mechanized infantry, artillery, and logistical support, rehearsed in exercises designed to replicate the conquest of Western Europe. For NATO commanders, the comparisons to 1940 were unavoidable. Just as Hitler's Wehrmacht had bypassed the defenses of France with lightning speed, so too could Stalin's or his successor's tank armies punch through the thin defensive line in Germany and surge toward the Rhine. This was the nightmare scenario that haunted every war game and every strategic estimate throughout the late 1940s and early 1950s. The situation was made worse by the political geography of Europe itself. The Iron Curtain divided the continent into 2 camps, but the frontier in Germany was perilously close to the industrial heartlands of the West. From East Germany to the Rhine was a matter of only a few hundred kilometers, terrain ideally suited to armored thrusts. NATO generals calculated that Soviet tanks could reach Frankfurt